John McCagg with JesusChristTrust.net and LibertyAidAcademy.org. Right, all my original copyrighted information that no one else alive has ever put forth before. The knowledge, the documents, this is all original, all copyrighted with copyright.gov, the USA government. Okay, let's get into this important topic. Let me get into the exactness of sovereignty, okay? And the power that you, as an individual, have when you sign the trust from LibertyAidAcademy.org. Now, that trust, in it actually says, right, your God is Jesus Christ. And it also says that prior contracts are nullified. That because the In God We Trust, right, is a trust. We being the name of the devil, we, me, 33, right, a W-E-M and W-M-E-3 are all the same symbol, aren't they? So 33, in 33 we trust, right? If you put 33 on everything, yes, it's the last year of the time loop, but it's also, the devil has many names. Jesus Christ has one name, not Yahweh. It ain't Yahweh. Oh my God, the people that say that are obviously with the devil. Anyway, we have a sword. It is the name, Jesus Christ. That is it. We, servants of Jesus Christ, those individuals that sign this trust, that switch your affiliation, you have the sword, the name Jesus Christ. Okay, so how did you get under the devil? Well, God put us under this dome, right, to eventually, learn about reality, that God is sovereign, and we can't get out of this dome until we bend the knee to Jesus Christ and do as Jesus Christ said to do, and then we can leave, if our actions warrant that. That's how it's done. There is no other method. Now, you're not under Jesus Christ until you change your affiliation with this trust. You're not. You are not. You cannot become sovereign without signing this trust. It is not possible. Okay? Why? Because your parents signed documents. Documents already exist. Notarized, signed, whatever. It's all signed, and they've been around for decades, and nobody challenged them or anything. These are all, taken for what's in place because they exist. The documents exist, and all the actions behind those documents, they all exist. Your parents did it, you did it. Oh, you didn't know? Well, that doesn't have anything to do with anything, right? At that point, when those are the only documents that exist and they're the only things you're acting on, any other things, they don't matter, they don't exist, because these are the only things that exist. Once you sign another trust with Jesus Christ as an adult, 18 or older, okay, now you knowingly, willingly have decided, every word on that document, that you're with Jesus Christ. It's irrevocable. There's no going back. That's it, not just for this lifetime, for all lifetimes. And that's it. That's it. You can't change your affiliation back. It's impossible. Okay? It's not going to be possible. And if you try and change it back, you'll be dead really quick. And then you'll have to reincarnate and, still learn. If you make the mistake, you're still under Jesus Christ. Even if you're not acting that way, you still are. Anyway, so, but every soul now is signed, sealed, and deliver, right? Every currency is tied to the dollar. That means it's not just happening, the In God We Trust is not just happening in the United States. It's the overarching trust of the dome and every soul in here. Do you get it? And until you switch your affiliation, you're not you're under the old trust with the devil until you switch your affiliation, until you have some documents proving otherwise. You're under the devil, period. And the whole system and all that. They can throw you in jail. They can do whatever. Now, once you switch, right, then it all changes. Because let's go over this. This is just Google, right? Number one on Google, Jesus Christ is sovereign. Sovereignty is authority, right? Where God's sovereignty is most manifested is through his Son, Jesus Christ. How is this so? Jesus has dominion over all things because he paid the penalty for sin and rose to life in victorious power. That's correct. Let's read it in the Bible, okay? Philippians, King James Version. At the name of Jesus, every knee shall bow, of things in heaven and things in earth, in heaven, in earth, in heaven. You're inside. It says it right there. And things under the earth, and that every tongue should confess that Jesus Christ is Lord, to the glory of God the Father. That's it. Jesus Christ is sovereign. It means there's one individual in control, right? One individual entity. That's Jesus Christ. All the power is in that individual. Okay? If you serve the sovereign, right, that makes you sovereign too. You're of the sovereign. So you could say, oh, I have sovereignty. You do have a sovereignty from the in God we trust. You are sovereign from that because your God is sovereign. De facto, you're sovereign. Do you see that? You don't have any affiliation with the in God we trust or anything about it. Period. And so you, like Jesus, have dominion over all entities here, as long as you follow the law, the common law. You signed it and you have to follow the common law. Right? Do unto others as you would have done unto you. So you do not take advantage of others the way they do. You can't do that. No, you must serve others. You have knowledge. You have power. As a servant of Christ, what do you do with that? You help the poor and the needy and the other servants of Jesus Christ. You help them. Why? Because you're sovereign. You cannot be killed. You're invincible. Completely cannot be touched by anyone or anything. I act like that all day, every day. That's why they leave me alone, because what? My goal is to pull up my phone when I'm around the cops or whoever, military, whoever they say their boss or whatever, and get a video of them, what? Not being boss at all. Being frozen in place should they try and touch me or do anything. You have to live your life that way, or else what? Or else what? You're going to have to come back here until you learn you're sovereign. Duh. You are sovereign. You have sovereignty, not because of your own affiliation or who you are. No, because you switch your affiliation irrevocably, right, to Jesus Christ. You got the documents. You act upon it, right? It's in your heart. It's in your mind. What are they going to do? Nothing. Because when I talk to the cops, if I see them and they don't come around me anymore, they know where to not be ever. They're never standing near me. Never. They used to do it by the dozens. I mean, I could not ever get away from these creatures until I finally learned. And how did I learn? By just interacting with them so many times, right? But, I would just walk up to them if they had the audacity. If they had the audacity to be where I was, where I am. They had the audacity to wear those colors in my face. Jesus Christ is sovereign. I'm with him and you have the devil's colors on in my face? I'm going to walk right up to you and say, listen, every debt is collected illegally. The bank never signs anything. And every home you steal by foreclosure is done illegally under the power of we, the devil. And you know what the last cop I spoke to who said that to said to me? You know what he said? He said, well, what are you going to do about it? You see, you somehow think that every government agent doesn't know they're with the devil and works for the devil. You're wrong. You're wrong because of your lack of experience. That's all. You're wrong because you do not have the experience to know that and be told that from them over and over and over again when you're hanging around with them. That's why you don't know. Because they haven't told you enough times to your face. You haven't been up in their grill enough like I have. You know what I said to that cop? You know what I told him? He's like, what are you going to do about it? I was like, I'm going to pray for you right now using the name of Jesus Christ. Turned and walked away instantly. 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 Turned and walked away instantly. Come on. Do you not have any idea who you are and who your God is? Because if you're not acting like this, then there's a question inside of you that God will answer until you decide to answer it, right? You have to take up your cross. You have to set up events, right? You have to set up events where you're absolutely going to die over and over and over and over again against these agents of the devil until they don't want to see you again. They don't want to see you. They ask you politely to please stop what you're doing. That's what I got asked last time I was physically in court instead of online or whatever. The judge was like, before the court case started, they were just all in the room, and of course it's a closed courtroom. There are 4 lawyers in there, all these agents and all this other crap, but no public, right? And the judge says, Mr. McCagg, I just want to let you know that this is really how the court case started and went, okay? Literally, I'm telling you. Mr. McCagg, I just, no other introduction, nothing like that. Just these words out of the judge's mouth. He had trouble speaking and was rendered mute for a little bit, but then after that passed, this is what was said. Mr. McCagg, I just want to let you know that all the judges of Sarasota County gathered to speak about you. I was like, oh, I just stood there and looked up. And this is what we've decided. Is there any way we could remedy this so that this doesn't go forward? And he's like, could you tell me what caused this and how we could prevent this? Because I had done 15 court cases, put it on Facebook, battle to the death, Jesus versus the devil. Come on down, everybody, check it out. This is going to happen. I'm tired of this life. I'm going to die in the name of Jesus Christ. Anyone could come down. I did it ahead of time so anyone could come watch. And this is what he says. And he said, why are you down here? I said, well, I got, I said, the bank never signs any documents, so all debt's collected illegally. And I said, I had one of these credit card companies. Now, what had happened was, I got like 18 credit cards or something like that and bought a bunch of gold coins and turned them into cash and didn't pay a nickel of it back. Took every penny off of every credit card. Why? The bank doesn't sign anything. They're not due any money in return. I was like, thanks for the money. And so I told the judge, I was like, what of these companies had the audacity to sue me? And so in response, I sued all of them. It was Barclays had done it. And he's like, oh, I see, okay. And the judge understood, you follow? And he said, okay. He's like, thank you, Mr. McCagg, thank you. He's like, and he says to me, now, if I could get Barclays to drop their case The four lawyers were making freaking noises like they can't believe what this judge is saying. They're fucking out of their minds, the board, because they had combined four more of my court cases in one out of the 15, just to, for expediency, so I don't tie up their court docket so much, right? Anyway, they're just making noises over there as the judge and I are talking. And the judge says, if I get Barclays to drop this case, would you drop the case against these other 15 credit card companies? I was like, I say, yeah, I would do that, because that's what precipitated this. He said, okay, that's fine. That's all I need to know. He said, that's what's going to happen. He said to the lawyers, that's what's going to happen today. One of them was Barclays, and he said, you're going to sign. He said to all four of these lawyers, he said, you're going to sign documents that end this case, and he's going to agree to end the other cases. And that's what we did. Now, a couple other things happened, too, during this. After the judge said this, each lawyer needed to be talked to, because, they need to talk, lawyers. And he told them individually, he said, you will be filling out paperwork to dismiss this case. He said, this is what is going to happen. He ordered them to do it. And the judge created all the paperwork to create the end to all this situation. And he made them sign it. And each individual lawyer needed to speak up to the judge and speak to him individually. And they all said, almost word for word, the exact same thing. They couldn't stop. All four of them spoke. I couldn't believe it, and the judge couldn't believe it. And they all said the same thing, one after the other, They all said basically, Your Honor, he sued us after charging up all his credit card, and now he's suing us for more money. He's like, and the judge was like, I know. And now you're going to dismiss the case because I'm giving you an order. All four of them. It was so funny. In court in Florida, one thing that happened before this moment was automatic mediation. So this was the talk after that I came back in the courtroom. Because when you get in court, first thing the judge is like, has there been a mediation? I'm like, no. He's like, well, go into another room and do mediation. And this would happen in mediation. So this talk the judge gave was right after the mediation we had to have. And that's what he said and ended it. Now, mediation didn't work, obviously. And this is what happened in mediation. Mediation went like this. There were four lawyers. The court... mediator, the clerk mediator, and then just someone else who was like a government agent, CIA or whatever, right? Or the devil itself. I don't know. But just this other creature in there in black suit, you know what I mean? Like, one of them was in there too, just had no right to be there, but was there, One of them. And the court mediator says, I don't understand. He said, I read your complaint and I don't understand it, because my complaint said, basically the In God We Trust is not registered in Florida and I'm not signed with the In God We Trust. And so I don't owe money and the bank never signed any documents. So I'm here under the power of Jesus Christ to find out if Jesus Christ has more power or the devil. That's what is said basically in there, and some other things, that the In God We Trust isn't registered in Florida, and the use of dollars is therefore illegal in the state of Florida. And I don't want to do anything illegal by giving you dollars, I don't want to break the law. So, my trust, right, is registered in Florida, so why don't I give you some notes, a post-it note from my trust, and then we'll do paid in full. How's that? That's the law. Those kind of things were on that piece of paper, and this court mediator basically has a document in front of her and says, I don't understand this. He's like, Mr. McKeag, I don't understand your complaint. It's all written. And I didn't say a word in response to her. I just sat there, quiet. Nobody's saying nothing after she said that. Like, it's not, it's written. I'm not explaining it in words, you know, I'm just, there it is. And it absolutely was in English and very understandable. So, in this space, you know, of silence, the NASA attorney who had taken over $20,000 from their, you know, credit union, because they're fake in space, so I took the most from them. The NASA attorney says he just doesn't like it that we worship the devil. That's what the lawyer said. Those were the exact words that the lawyer said to the court mediator. He just doesn't like it that we worship the devil. Exact words out of that NASA lawyer's mouth. And so the court mediator says to me, "Is that right?" And I say, "Yes." I said, "Yes, that's it." I was like, "Yes." And because he said it perfectly, right? I was like, there's some other stuff in there, but that's what's underneath of it. Just what the NASA attorney said, you know? I'm like, yes. I don't like it, and I'm going to my death up in here, or I'm going to my life, one or the other. He's right. That's it. That's why I'm here. And so, that court-appointed mediator says, "So, it looks like we're not going to resolve this by mediation." I said, "No way." And all four attorneys said, "Nope, no way." And that's when we went back in that courtroom, and that's what we heard from the judge. Jesus Christ is sovereign. Have you gone to your death? How many times have you gone to your death? I can't even count anymore how many times I've set up my death and gone to it. You're supposed to be able to kill me, and they tried to kill me. Okay, they try and raise a gun and just put it to my head and murder me. But Jesus won't let them pull up a gun off out of their holster. Won't let it happen around me. You haven't tested your sovereignty level? I've done it so many times. I can't even count, really. I can't even count any longer. This is what sovereignty means. You are sovereign if you sign that trust. Do you get that? Because you're God who you serve is sovereign. So you have sovereignty. And that's where it comes from. That's where it flows from. Yeah, you could say, I have sovereignty. What? I'm with Jesus Christ. He is sovereign. You didn't just say, I'm sovereign. No. Jesus Christ is sovereign. I serve Jesus Christ, so I'm sovereign. What are you going to do about it over there? What are you going to do about it? I'll tell you what I'm going to do about it. I'm going to take every piece of real estate in this earth and give it to Jesus Christ under his name. That is my sole goal right here. Just know that. Know that. It should be yours too. Sovereignty. Okay? That's what sovereignty means. You have to sign the trust. You have to. Or else you're not sovereign from them. Okay? This is the only one that has been proven to work. Right? This is the only one. With proof. Going up against, try to get killed so many times. No one else has done that. This works. Okay? This works 100% of the time. Alright? You can only get it here. You can also get it over here, but you get in the courses at JesusChristTrust.net. But it just pops you back once you hit this, and it brings you back to Liberty Aid Academy. Okay, but over here at the church, right, Jesus Christ Trust, you can get the debt forgiveness information here. You can get the inner circle information here. We're going to be taking this inner circle off of Liberty Aid Academy at some point. And the debt forgiveness, how to remove any debt, a decade of proof. Okay, a decade of proof. Come on, no one else has that. That's only available here. Okay, on Jesus Christ Trust. Okay, you're sovereign. Start acting like it. Come on. Right? In the name of and in the honor of Jesus Christ.